Love intentionally. Initiate. You see, time isn't what creates a great marriage. It's time that is utilized and invested in and taken advantage of that actually produces a beautiful, life-giving relationship. We have to choose to love and to put love into action. It's funny because Rich and I both fly a lot, so a lot of our examples in preaching are about flying. I'm sorry, it's just part of our life. And so for me, this past year, you get status like with flying, and it's actually nice because it just helps you. You can get just things for free that you normally would have to pay a lot of money for. And I lost my status last year because I didn't fly enough. And so that means that I'm holding on to my husband's coattails saying, please take me, take me. But when it comes to status with air miles, you're just trying to get enough and then you're good. You're just trying to meet the requirement and then who cares? I'm not trying to go over and above and beyond and impress the airline with my loyalty. Can I tell you that's a horrible way to approach your relationships? I'll just do enough to keep the peace in my home. I'll just do enough. If she's happy, that's fine. That's good. Leave it. I'll just meet the standard so that happy wife, happy life. Some of you are like, oh man, she's reading my mail right now. That's a horrible way. And it's a horrible way to expect anything great out of a relationship. How can you expect anything great out of a relationship when what you're pouring into it is mediocre? You've got to broaden your expectation for your relationship as you continue to initiate. See, initiation doesn't just start by you asking to take someone out for coffee. No, it continues 30 years in, 40 years in, that I'm still initiating opportunities to love and to give and to serve. How many of you believe that that's how healthy relationships grow? There's power in choosing to step out and to set an example. Initiating doesn't mean rules. It means vision and inspiration. It means cultivating a culture that can allow your spouse to thrive and allow you to thrive the way that God has called you to. You see, initiation takes thought. Right now, I'm teaching my son to look into people's eyes. Teaching him to initiate. I'm teaching him to show respect and love and care and thoughtfulness. We were at the wedding and last night and there were 2 languages spoken. I love seeing cultures blended together. I don't think there's anything more beautiful, but understand this, that the universal language of love is actually service. No matter what culture you're in, no matter what your background, no matter what your story, you can live a life of action. You want to know where the action is? The action is in loving someone and loving them by choosing to serve them, choosing to take your time, your effort, your energy. I saw this in my grandparents' marriage because my grandparents, they were married for years and years, I think 60 years. But my grandfather, every morning when I would stay at their home, he would bring my grandmother breakfast in bed. I mean, I don't know anybody who does that. And if you do, you rock. You rock. But my grandfather would bring my grandmother her oatmeal and her grapefruit and her bran muffin and her coffee. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. And he would bring it to her in her bed. And he chose to live a life of serving her. He chose to live a life of serving the church. He was a simple man. He would go to the hospitals every day. He would pray for people. He would preach with all of his heart. And it wasn't that his sermons were eloquent. It was that he loved God with a pure love. And when he spoke through the scriptures, the power of God moved. But I watched him as he loved his wife with everything that he had. He wasn't perfect, but he chose to serve. And then I watched as he lost all of his motor skills for the last several years of his life as my grandmother then cared for his every need, cared for him morning to night. And I watched what real relationships are made up of. That it's not just the balloons and the chocolates on February 14th. But real relationship is service. Come on, how many of you would say, I want a marriage like that? I'm here for it. I want to invest. I want to initiate. I want to give.